I guess we'll head over to Abyss and Rhino,
Of course.
which is another one of the heavyweight feuds of the month.
It sure was another one.
Rhino on the December 17th Impact has a squash match against the debuting Joe Doring.
Which is fun to see.
Yeah, he looks so weird here.
Yeah, he does not have any of his... Like, I was watching this and I was like, man, this guy's going to be a great Triple Crown champion one day. Just like Charlie Dempsey.
Oh. You watch some people and you see them being like, you see their presence through their whole career, you know? You see who they are even when they're younger. And you watch Joe Doring here and you're like, how did that man turn into that?
Yeah, it took time.
You're like, God, there's nothing there here. He's just a guy who squashed on TV. You're not like, oh, look at that guy. That's impressive. He's just a guy.
And like when did he really start picking up in Old Japan? Like 2015? Like the Go Shiozaki stuff?
Early to mid 2010s, yeah.
But then honestly, like he didn't really like peak until like 2017 with like the Miyahara stuff. So it's like that took a long time for him to like really get it. Like another decade.
Yeah, shows. Keep working.
Also, if anyone hasn't seen Joe Doring Old Japan stuff, please watch it. Like his stuff is what got me back into that company in the mid 2050. Like him and Miyahara, like those two guys, so good. And then I'm obviously it was very exciting to see him come back to TNA.
Yeah.
Hopefully everything goes good with his recovery and we get to see him again.
Hope so. Here he's just being squashed on TV. He debuted actually on a pay-per-view pre-show, but this is the first time we're seeing it. Don mentions that Doring was one of the early TNA Academy guys. So if you remember, they were mentioning like the Academy at the Asylum and all that stuff. Apparently, Joe Doring is one of those guys. Rhino wins with a gore. They seem to like have an internal war about whether he's called the War Machine or the Man Beast here.
Yeah.
Because
are you a Man Beast guy or a War Machine guy?
I kind of like War Machine.
I like War Machine too.
But maybe it's just because it's his TNA nickname. But I like War Machine.
I like War Machine more. One thing I thought was good here was like they were talking about how he's like a baby Team Canada guy. And then like the whole point being that Rhino's going to start running through Team Canada. So like they started off with like the Team Canada young boy.
Yeah, after the match, Rhino does cut a promo being like, I want to go through Team Canada and get to Goring D'Amore.
Which obviously ends in Abyss.
There was a promo earlier on that show. It was actually right before the Rhino and Joe Doring match. Where franchise has a bitch.
He is a bitchin'.
That is not the first time I've accidentally called Abyss a bitch.
Franchise has a bitchin' promo.
Franchise has Abyss and James Mitchell. They show Abyss's scars from Barbed Wire Massacre, and it's interesting. They're trying to like pitch Abyss as a top contender, even though he spent like the entirety of the last month losing.
All Abyss does is get his ass kicked.
Because he lost to Sabu, he lost to Jeff Hardy, and he lost to Rhino last month. So
like really, all he does is get his ass kicked.
But now he has overcome his fears. They particularly focus on Rhino. D'Amore walks in with a business proposal for Mitchell. So the reason we pivot from Rhino going after Team Canada to Abyss is because D'Amore has recruited Abyss to take out Rhino. He's struck a deal with Father James.
Struck a deal with a bitch.
December 31st Impact. Rhino faces A1.
Yes, Johnny Devine back again.
Rhino wins with the gore. D'Amore hits him with a hockey stick after the match. As Rhino was about to get his hands on D'Amore, Abyss jumped him and chokeslammed him. And then it's funny, because they were doing the New Year's segment later, people in the crowd had kazoos.
I think they're just Christian fans.
They might just be Christian fans, you're not wrong. So as Abyss was beating up Rhino, they were just blowing their kazoos. As D'Amore and Mitchell shake hands.
I feel like all Abyss feuds the exact same thing.
He just fights people?
Like, he calls it, like, there's like, something happens, gets called out, whatever. He beats him up 1 week and then proceeds to get his ass kicked for the rest of the feud.
Yeah, he gets the heat on them once. Like, he'll hit him with a black hole slam, and then they will relentlessly beat the shit out of him. And then the entire build-up,
they'll beat him up, and then at the pay-per-view, they'll beat him up. And then, boom, next pay-per-view cycle starts off with a post-pay-per-view squash against some nerd.
These two are like on the opposite sides of lots of brawls. Oh, the Go Home show, there's an Abyss squash over Jay Lethal.
Who is signed.
Yes, we'll talk about that a little more for the Samoa Joe match, because I think that match is funnier. But yeah, Abyss beats Jay Lethal with the rare double rotation black hole slam.
The even blacker hole slam.
Yeah, that creates even more of an empty void.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no actual development toward the Rhino match there. Basically, they brawl a bunch. They're like a bunch of the segments where they're running out and brawling, where there's a lot of Planet Jarrett running out and brawling. Rhino and Abyss are on either side of that as well.
They're a part of the big schmozzes that no one cares about.
So, pay-per-view match, Abyss and Rhino, it kinda sucked.
Yeah, and it's such disappointment coming off of the like really great Abyss Sabu stuff.
Yeah, it was kind of slow. It was kind of plotting. They didn't really do much. And that's it. It's just kind of a boring pay-per-view match.
I think it's probably because there was no plunder.
Yeah, they do have a Falls Count Anywhere match. I think it's next month, which I remember being a lot better.
I remember because like don't they do the gore through like the like staging?
No, that's in the build-up to that match. They gore him through the wall.
Yeah, that's cool.
But the finish of the pay-per-view match is he gores him out of the stands.
Oh, yeah.
So I hope that match doesn't suck. I'll be disappointed if I go back to that match and that match sucks. But yeah, this match is there's just nothing. It's just two big guys who are working a relatively slow pace. They're doing a little plunder. There's like chairs involved and chairs in the corner and DQs not being DQ'd for some reason.
It's so funny. Like they do like the little bits of like the chair stuff. And then it's like just like in front of the referee.
And then the funnier part is Mitchell then distracts the referee when Abyss is going for a chain shot. It's like, you just hit him with a chair in front of him.
Yeah, there was no need for any of that at this point.
Rhino looks for the Rhino driver, which would have been a cool thing to hit on Abyss.
Yeah.
But James Mitchell grabs his leg, causing a distraction, allowing Abyss to hit a black hole slam onto a chair for the win. Very disappointing.
Abyss getting his, like, much like he gets his one, like, beat up, his one win in these feuds.
Yeah, so he can lose next month.
Yeah, twice. Well, he get beat up once on TV and then lose.